Hello Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today for a cherry on top, and I'm sharing with you this two-page layout that I created using the July cherry box. So the cherry box is full of Doodlebug goodies from the Great Outdoors collection, and then some bits and pieces that are older to supplement that collection. You also get stamps from Stamperia, and I hope I'm saying that correctly, along with a dye ink stamp pad turquoise that coordinates really well with this kit. So I have a large photo, as you can see, and that is going to be on the right hand side, and then I have that grid really of 4x3, or they're 3x4 photos, and I'm going to make an interactive piece with the right hand photos there. So it's a 1-inch strip that is on the right hand side of that large photo, and I don't continue working on the right hand side of the page because I am completely distracted by these tags. So I know I want to put a journaling block underneath. I still haven't quite figured out in my head how this is going to go. I love these journal bits, and I thought maybe they would be fun down the left-hand side of the photo, but I don't want to cover up too much, even though my subject in that large photo is on the right-hand side of the photo itself. I felt like I was covering up too much, and also there was too much white all on the right-hand side by putting those journal cards there. So I decided to go with the plaid on the other side. I just want to make sure that those are the journal cards that I will not use. And so I also know that I'm going to have a journal card that will house some ephemera on the top right hand side, possibly the left hand side. I kind of haven't quite figured out where that is going to go yet. I need to get the ephemera on the left hand side in order to create balance to the right hand side of the page there. So doing the Suzanna shuffle and kind of shuffling things around, I know I want to cover up that moose because the moose is really irrelevant to what is going on here. So what is going on here? So we are at Yosemite. We are at Half Dome Village, and we are staying at Curry Village. So these are canvas tents, and we are not used to the heat and humidity of Yosemite. We have so this is Tent City. There are hundreds, probably even 1,000. I don't know if there's 1,000, but there are hundreds of canvas tents, and you have shared bathrooms. And we were worried that it was going to be cold at night. We were not aware of the fact that there were going to be so many climbers that get up early in the morning in order to see the sunrise over Half Dome. So we were unprepared for that. We do camp, we have camped, but we are really more hikers than we are campers. And so this was sort of the extent of roughing it for us for a while. So I'm wrapping some twine or some jute around the page here. You can see I punched half circles. This would have worked better to actually wrap the twine between the two pieces of paper. You can see I'm actually wrapping it around the back to get the effect, and used a slightly larger hole further down. But I had already adhered this and didn't really want to pull the whole thing up. So I'm just going to make do, and to make sure that the jute doesn't slide as I slide it into the page protectors when I do, I'm just using some artist tape there to fasten that down and make it a little bit more secure there. So I just love the sort of rustic feel that jute gives it. It's tone on tone. I could have used a different color. I could have actually used baker's twine, but I liked the roughness of the jute that adds to the roughness of the whole process. So here I have this lantern, and I'm going to cut out the center so that the handle is accessible of the lantern, and I can tie the jute, tie the lantern, hang the lantern from the jute. And that will function as not only decor for the page, but also somewhat kind of holds down the flap that the interactive journaling element with the journaling underneath has. So I don't really know that that's where that's going to end up, but I do know that I want that journaling on the right-hand side photos. And so it just so happens that it works perfectly to cover up also what ends up being an empty spot in the photo, so not where subject matter is. So then I have a collection of the embellishments from the ephemera pack. There are 139 pieces in these odds and ends, and so I'm going to just put a whole bunch of them across the top there and kind of create a camping village scene there, and layer some of those up, and just it's fun. It adds some color to what's going on, because as you can see from the photos, they're pretty dark. You're under a huge tree canopy when you're at Curry Village, and so it's really not all that light. Although we were there in the afternoon, but still not all that light. And so those were photos of the inside of our tent, our map to getting to our particular tent, and just a selfie of us in the mirror in the tent. So this is me now going to work on the interactive element here. There's two ways that you could approach this. You could use washi, but I end up using sticker paper, large sheets of sticker paper, and my sticker paper is not, it's white on both sides, like there isn't a printed label so that you know which is the front side and the back side. So you'll see me play with it to try and figure out which is the front and which is the back where the sticky is there. So you can see I have 3 tags, and I'm going to cut one of them, and one of them will be the attached handle to the photo, and so that you know to lift that particular one, and you can see in the close-ups the difference between the 3 there. So I toyed with the idea of putting some additional jute through those holes there, or at least one of them, the one that the bottom one that was going to be the opening one, but it didn't need additional, and sometimes less is more. So I'm going to attach the one that is the opener, so that's the little flap. This is me trying to figure out the sticky side and the not sticky side, and so I'm just going to make a little channel instead of using washi, that will be the hinge for that interactive element there. So you can see how I have vertical components on the left-hand page, and I have, horizontal components on the left-hand page, and then I have vertical components on the right-hand page. But yet I have, you'll see that I have, I want flow, and because I've got those 2 directions, I need something that's going to unite the left-hand page and the right-hand page. So I have color that unites that, and then I'm actually going to put that, you can see that pocket card with the moose on the right-hand side, that will stay there, and that will be so an embellishment cluster that ties in the left-hand page. Because why? It just does visually. I'm not sure how to describe how using words. It connects it somehow. And I also, you can see how I have that big space of the roadway or the walkway in front of my husband, my daughter, and my son. That's where the title is going to go, so that's going to get filled in there. And so you flow from the photos to the title across that large photo through the people up to the embellishment cluster on the right hand side. It's not a visual triangle, but there is a flow that is created there. So I'm popping up these signs on some double-sided foam, and then I'm just going to put a sprinkling of embellishments around them. Not necessary, but just adds a little bit more fun and whimsy to the layout. It also adds a little bit more texture because I'm going to use some of the flower sprinkles that come with the kit. I actually have these sprinkles. They are from forever ago. I love them though because they're so, I remember when Doodlebug came out with these sprinkles. They are a ton of fun. So I'm going to start off with some liquid adhesive to get them down, and then I'm going to change my mind and just go with the my Zots bling, because it just goes so much faster. So pretty much that's the foundation of the pages. Now I want to work on getting the title down and put a little bit more pizzazz to that right hand side of the page there. So this is where I've got the liquid adhesive, and I've got my picker-upper stick. I don't know what it's called. I know it has a name, and I know you guys have heard me say I know it has a name, and I know you've told me the name, but I like picker-upper stick, and I'm going to use that to pick up the sequins and put them down. But honestly, I just find that plopping the sequins onto the Zots bling and then adhering that down like a sticker just works so much better for me than these picker-upper sticker things, because I don't know, it doesn't really stick to the picker-upper stick. Anyway, so there's the Zots blings, going to adhere these sprinkles, just literally a sprinkling. I like the way that it adds more variation of color within what are very clear color blobs or triangles. And so those are stuck down. That is the left-hand side complete. Now I need to, I will journal, and now I'm going to finish off the right-hand side there. So I thought perhaps I would have two journal cards, one on the top right and one on the top left, the bottom left, to create that movement, or that I would layer them up, and then I should have a different color because I've already got that orange on the left-hand border, but I didn't like the brown. It just sort of melded into the rest of the photo and got lost. So I liked the orange, which is why I go back to, no, I don't go back to the orange. I stuck with the brown. Why did I stick with the brown? I think I stuck with the brown because it was contrast of color. I had that huge brown background, and this brought a little bit more brown into the right hand side of the page there. So super easy to stamp with these clear stamps. Just make sure that if they're brand new that you kind of prime them a little bit, and you could see I just rubbed the stamp on my arm there, and then I'm going to fussy cut them, and I will spare you the agony of watching me stamp and cut all of the letters for the title, but super fun font with the curly cues. And my original plan had I wanted Adventurous Tent City to be up the top here. But you can see when I go and stick the sticker down that it gets really lost in all of the green at the top of the page there. So I'm going to go ahead and move that and readjust my plan. And so you get a diagonal line that moves from the title, Adventurous Tent City, or Tent City with Adventurous being kind of a subtitle, through the subjects of the photo, and then up to that cluster embellishment on the top right hand side there. So also in the kit you're going to get those silk flowers. Again, those are really old. Doodlebug doesn't make those anymore. There are 3 different patterns. There's a polka dot flower, a glitter flower, and just this plain blue, lighter blue one. So I'm just using that for a pop of color. Not that there are any flowers anywhere near Tent City, but it just provides some contrast and color up there. So see how that green just gets so lost up there. Not to mention that it feels heavy dominant to the right top if I put the title up there. So by having that title down the bottom, I get that diagonal line that I was referring to later, and I get balance in color and balance in contrast across this whole page here. So I'm going to line up my letters so that I know the spacing before I adhere them down, and I like that it adds that blue, that aqua, which brightens up the page a fair amount, so that works out pretty well. I'm also going to put a sprinkling of these sprinkles, these flower sprinkles, on this hand side of the page as well, so that I have something that goes from the left and right hand side of the page that unites the two there, in addition to just the colors. Because I have that large photo, I need those uniting factors. So I am going to once again pull out the Zots and use those to adhere the flowers and the sprinkles down, and I will spare you the agony of watching me label put each and every letter down, and then also spare you the agony of sticking flowers down. So this, my friends, is a layout created using the July cherry box. So each month a Cherry on Top releases a new box with some fun goodies for you to try. There's also usually a mixed media type component to it. And in this case, this month, it is the letter stamps as well as the ink pad. So fun to try out a new manufacturer. I have never tried Stamperia, and I really like the stamps. They're sturdy and they will definitely last a while. So also you are going to get these shape sprinkles, so the trees. So I'm going to use one of those and then just a few of the stars, just again to add a pop of color to this cluster at the left hand side. That also it works at that diagonal of that horizontal to the horizontal at the top left of the page there. So back to the cherry box. It is a subscription box, so you can subscribe, or if they are available, you can also do one-offs. You just have to check as they release them if they are available. Also with the kit, you're going to get these rub-ons. So these are rub-on letters. I still have all of the colors of these because I used to hoard things instead of use things. And so I'm just using my nail. Actually, I'm going to go and use my bone folder there to just rub down a small little subtitle of the location. So I actually think I put in here Half Dome, and then I'm going to cover that up somehow, and I'm going to put in Curry Village in there. So that wraps it up, my friends. If you have any questions about the subscription boxes or the box, the cherry box, or my design process, please don't hesitate to leave those in the box down below. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you are doing well. Enjoy the close-ups and come back again soon. Take care.